playing that along, we're still kind of working within this water element flow state, trying to stay mobile, um, and remembering that, like, the rigidity is what we're trying to avoid so that when we do get something kind of that rocks us or makes us have to sway or adjust, that we don't just topple right over, but we've got some fluidness and rhythm into our physical being and emotional being. We'll start with your feet underneath your hips, maybe even just a little bit wider, and some nice, like, buoyancy in your knees so you're not stiff, avoiding the rigid structure. And then sweep your arms out and up, really broaden across your collarbones as you inhale. Exhale, pull your hands down midline all the way to heart center. And then press down into your feet, reach right back up. Turn your palms out, slight bend in your knees, send your hips back, arms come all the way down to the mat. Inhale, come up halfway, press your palms into your shins, lengthen out through the crown of your head, and exhale, fold. We'll come right back up, press down, reach out wide, exhale through center. Soft bend in your knees, press down, reach up, hinge forward. Use your back muscles, come up halfway, weight shifts into your toes. Exhale, bend your knees as much as you need to get your hands down to the ground, and then rise back up. Let's do one more of those. Exhale, hands through center. Inhale, reach up, full inhale, and then exhale, full release. Tuck your chin as you rise, and then lengthen out through the crown of your head. Exhale, fold. Let's come back up to standing, reach out wide, and then take your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers. Again, a nice bend in your knees, reach your knuckles down, pull your heart up. Exhale, hinge forward, keep bending your knees as you fold so that you can really touch, if or get close to, if not fully touch your rib cage to the tops of your thighs. So for some of you, it might be that your knees are really bent, and that's a-okay. Relax your neck. And then release your hands. Pull your hands up halfway, lengthen out halfway, stretch across the backs of your legs. Exhale, fold, and we'll rise back up. Inhale, reach your arms over your head. Exhale, hands through center. And this time we'll do a side stretch. So step your right foot behind your left. I'm going to mirror. Reach your right arm up over your head. So you've got a nice long side body through your right side. Left leg behind right, or right leg behind left, and your front knee is bent. Then we'll come through center, switch hands, right hand to right hip, step your left hand behind your right, sweep out and up, get long through your left side. And then we'll come back to center. Let's do one more on each side. Right foot behind left, sweep your arm up, lengthen from the inside of your armpit to your hip. And then we'll come back to center. Last time. Left leg behind. Left arm sweeps open. And then come back to the middle. Both arms out wide. Take a full inhale. Take your time to really inflate through all four sides of your ribs. And then again, take your full exhale all the way down to the mat. Step into downward dog. In downward dog, pedal your feet, bend one knee and then the other. Taking some time to really open up through your hamstrings. Checking in with your shoulders. It might feel nice to take your heels to the side, stretch through your side body. Ooh, especially after all that sitting we're doing. And then come back to center. Settle through your heels. Check your hands, fingers spread wide, and your hands are slightly turned out. Soft bend in your knees if you need to help lengthen through your spine. Crown of your head reaches between your hands. And then inhale, both heels over your toes. Lift up from your center. Tuck your chin, round the space behind your heart as you roll forward into plank. Shoulders arrive over your wrists. Inhale, pull up from middle. Use your core. And then exhale, soften your ankles as you arrive back in downward dog. Inhale, wave forward. Really embrace the fluid motion. Come ashore. And then we'll come back to downward dog. Soften through your heels. One more time. Wave forward. Round your back. Articulate your spine. Land in plank. And then elbows bend back. Lower all the way down to the mat. Anchor the tops of your feet into the earth. Fingertips to the sides, outside edges of your mat. And we'll take 3 cobras, increasing in depth. Loop your shoulders, peel up just a little, and then release. Loop your shoulders, keep the back of your neck long, come up a little bit higher, use your back muscles to lift you, and then melt back down. Last time here, shoulders loop, lead with your heart, reach forward, and then hands can come in, help you get a little bit extra height, and then soften back down to your mat. Hands underneath your shoulders, tuck your toes, knees lift off the earth, navel reaches or lifts off the mat, and then press in one piece from plank back to downward dog. Take a cleansing breath, deep inhale, and then exhale with your tongue out. Let's do one more of those. Now lift your right leg, reach out through your heel. Exhale, bend your right knee, draw through center, lift through your middle, and plant your right foot next to your right thumb. Ground your back knee. Sweep your arms forward and up, lift your heart. Open your palms to the front, bend your elbows, open up across your collarbones, hips move down and forward. Inhale, reach back up. Exhale, hands through center. Plant your fingertips, tuck your back toes. Deep inhale, pull energy in. Exhale, reach out through your left heel, forward with your right shin. Hips low, arms sweep forward and up. Turn your palms out, soften your arms down your back. Heart opener here. And then inhale, arms come back up. Exhale, hands through center, hinge from your hips. Plant your hands, seal your palms, step your right foot back to meet your left. Elbows point back, return to the mat. Shoulders loop, lead with your heart, feet press down and back, cobra pose, and exhale, release. Hands underneath your shoulders, back from plank to downward dog. And now with the left side, lead with your breath. Reach your heel straight back and up. Exhale, drive your knee in and up. Left foot to left thumb. Slide your right foot back. Plant your right knee down. Top of your right foot presses down. Arms sweep forward. Elbows bend. Heart opens up. Look up towards the sky if you can. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, hinge. Place your fingertips down. Tuck your back toes. Lift your back knee. Inhale, round your upper back. Pull everything in. Tuck your chin. And then exhale, reach back through your right heel forward with your left shin. Keep your hips low. Press down, rise. Turn your palms open and melt your arms down your back. Inhale, lift back up. Exhale, hands through center into the mat. Palms seal, step your left foot back to meet your right. Elbows brush your rib cage as you lower down. Softly peel yourself off the mat. Exhale, return to the earth. And then back through plank, knee plank, or all fours to downward dog. Right leg. Inhale, reach out through your heel. Exhale, knee through center, foot to thumb, ground your left knee. Sweep your arms forward. Bend at your elbows, open up across your heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to the earth, tuck your back toes. Inhale, pull in, pull your belly button in. Exhale, left heel reaches back. Rise up. Turn your palms open. Open up across your collarbones. Inhale, arms sweep forward and up. Exhale, hands through center, down to the mat. Slowly, with control, step back into plank, and then exhale to the earth. Cobra pose, come up for a breath of fresh air, and release. From plank to downward dog, left leg, lead with your breath, inhale. Exhale, knee through center, lift. Place your foot next to your thumb. Ground your back knee. Arms sweep forward, hips move down and forward. Bend at your elbows, expand across your heart. Inhale, up. Exhale, hands to the mat. Fingertips press down, tuck your back toes. Chin tucks in. Press into your fingertips. Shoulders broaden across your back. Exhale, reach your shin forward. Keep your hips low, arms move out, and then melt your shoulder blades down your back. Breathe your arms up. Exhale, hands through center to the mat, and step back into plank. Exhale down to the mat. Anchor the tops of your feet, loop your shoulders, and then lower back down in one piece, back to downward dog. Stay here in downward dog for 3 breaths. Really focus on the sounds of your breath. Don't worry about the pose being perfect. Just focus on your inhale and exhale. Notice how it creates a window for you to tap into the present moment. Be with things as they really are. Take one last deep inhale. Exhale out your mouth. And we'll come down to our knees. We'll go through the same core warm-up we did on Tuesday, just in case some of us weren't there, and that way we're all on the same page. And to do that, we'll start with hands and knees in tabletop position, shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. So we'll move through cat and cow a couple of times to get a feeling of our hips and their different tilts they can take. So as you press down into your hands, tuck your chin, lift the space behind your heart, your hips slightly tuck under. You're moving pubic bone to navel in what's called a posterior pelvic tilt. And then as you inhale, lower your rib cage, reach your heart forward, Exaggerate the bend in your lower back, reach your hips down and up. This is an anterior tilt of your hips in cow pose. So let's go back and forth between those, really focusing on how your core and the position of your hips influence this movement. As we press down, you feel the expansion across your shoulders. Inhale, feel the length in your spine. Take a couple more with your breath. And then let's actually meet in cat pose. So press down, round the space behind your heart. Really exaggerate this motion like you're going to sprout wings or something out behind your backs. And then instead of coming into cow pose, just come to neutral. So now we're neutral spine. Again, cat, press down, tuck your chin. Inhale, neutral. So you feel your sternum reach forward. 2 more times. Press down into your hands, pull your navel in. Sternum reaches forward. Last time. Tuck your chin. Press into your hands. Come back to neutral. Okay, now sit on your heels, maybe shake your arms out. That can be a lot of wrist flexion, but great news, we're not doing that in plank. We're gonna do it in forearm plank, so you don't even have to worry about your wrists in the next asana. Isn't that fantastic news? Okay, so stay where you are. I'm going to now show you what this will look like when we go through the movement of cat to neutral in forearm plank. So you'll start hands, fingers spread wide, and your elbows are the same distance as your shoulders, and hands are in the same plane as your elbows, so everything's in line. And then your hips, same height as your shoulders. You don't want this motion because this is actually more work on your shoulders. This is work on your core, which is what we're trying to go for. So we'll do the same motion we did in tabletop of pulling in, pressing into your forearms, lifting the space behind your heart. See how my hips don't lift, and then reach your sternum forward. So you pull in and then neutral. Let's all try it together now. Some of you may have already been starting, and that is great. Otherwise, we'll just assume that we're just now getting into plank, forearm plank. So now that you're all there, we'll begin. Inhale, pull your elbows towards your feet, tuck your chin, press into your forearms. Exhale, reach out through your heels, forward through your sternum. Inhale, pull in. Exhale, reach back. Good. Press down into your whole forearm. Spread the space behind your heart. And then heart reaches forward, heels reach back. 2 more. Inhale, draw in through center. Exhale, expand. Almost there, don't give up. Inhale, pull in. Exhale, heart, sternum reach in opposite directions. Then lower your knees, lower your hips. Pull your elbows in towards you, lift your heart, press the tops of your feet down, and then release, elbows go wide. You can take your forehead to your hands. And if it feels good, maybe rock your heels from side to side. Or it could feel really nice to stretch your arms in front of you, palms together, and take your thumbs towards the nape of your neck. Take a few grounding breaths. Check in and see how your energy has changed and shifted. Maybe new windows have opened up for you as you begin to move. Sometimes we tell ourselves that we're stuck and don't have a lot of energy, but once we get moving, we can see that we actually feel a lot better. Then release your hands if they were behind your neck. Pull your hands in underneath your shoulders. We'll come back up to tabletop and then move our hips over our knees. Walk your hands forward And come into your fingertips. We're headed towards Anahata Asana, sometimes called puppy pose, but and it's called puppy pose because it's kind of like a mini downward dog. But we're going to call it Anahata Asana today instead. So you'll press into your fingertips, just like we did in our forearms, round the space behind your heart. And this is meant to be a soothing position, so it's not going to be core work. So you'll inhale, inflate, exhale, chest and chin lower towards the earth, not necessarily all the way down. Inhale, round your back, come lift, and exhale, deflate. It's like you're moving with the ocean, just softly lifting, and then exhale, moving back down. Subtle little undulations. And then the next time you release towards the mat, seal your palms, tuck your back toes, and we'll come back to downward dog. Cleansing breath is always nice here at the beginning of our first wave if you need it or feel like it might help clear the slate for you. And then you would lift your right heel straight back, reach up through your heel. Exhale, draw your knee into center, pull everything in, shift forward, right foot to right thumb. Lower your hips so you've got a nice grounded position here, setting up for crescent. Let's take one deep breath in and a lunge pulse. Tuck your chin, press your hands down, lift the center of the back of your heart away, and exhale, left heel reaches back, right shin forward. Keep this position of your hips, sweep your arms forward and up. Take your left hand either to the nape of your neck or palm to left shoulder, and then your right hand on top of your left elbow. On the inhale, you'll lift up and over to your right side. Exhale, come back to center. Inhale, stretch, lengthen from left shoulder to left hip. Recalibrate back into middle. Let's do two more. Inhale, center, reach up and over, back to center. Arms float up. Exhale, hands through your midline. Reach out through your left heels. You dive forward. Plant your hands. Ground your left knee. And now take your hands on the insides of your front foot. So for this first low lunge, I want to keep it somewhat square with a neutral hip rather than external rotation. So do what you can to keep your right foot flat, and it will maybe on its own slightly turn out just because that's how you're built, and that's a-okay. So you can stay here, come down to your forearms. And I hate to give you too many options, but I want to make sure everybody finds a place to be. Or you could start to work on grabbing your back foot. And that would look like taking your right hand to your heart, reaching forward, inhale up and back, like you're going to grab it, but just a little fake out this time. And exhale, bow back forward, maybe even bend your left elbow. Inhale, sweep forward and up, reach, exhale, bow. This time, if you want to grab a hold of your foot, you may do so, but grab a hold from the inside and point your thumb down. And that way we can turn our hips and shoulders back to the front of the mat because I want you to feel the stretch on the front of your left quad. Some of you are going to feel plenty just like this. Some of you will want to come down to your left forearm. And then you're going to feel a lot here too. So you'll pull your left heel into your glute. Square your shoulders as much as you can. They'll slightly turn open. And you just ride the wave here. Pay attention to the sensations that you're feeling. Know that this isn't permanent. As long as it isn't painful, stick with it. Don't check out. Don't bail. One more breath. Exhale, gently release your back foot if it's in your hand. Take your right hand back down to the mat. And then take your right knee back to meet your left. Find Anahata Asana once again. Arms strong and straight. Inhale, one pulse here. Inflate the space behind your heart. Exhale, come down to forearms. Reach your feet back so you're in forearm plank. One pulse. Inhale, draw in, press forearms down. Lengthen out. Ground your knees, hips. Pull elbows back, tops of feet. Press down, lift your heart. And then melt back down. Hands come underneath your shoulders. Tuck your toes. Press up from plank to downward dog. Left side. Lead with your breath. Reach your heel back. Exhale, draw your knee in through center, foot to thumb. Stabilize your base. We'll take one lunge pulse here. Press down to the earth. Full inhale. Really lengthen your inhale. And a nice long exhale. Keep this solid foundation. Press down, rise. And then right palm to right shoulder or the nape of your neck, and left palm to right elbow. Inhale, lift up and over, lengthen through your right side. Exhale back to center. Let's do that 3 more times. Keep reaching out through your right heel. A soft bend in your right knee as you come back to center can be helpful. One more. Really reach up. Think about stretching the space between your right ribs. Come back to center. Reach your arms up. Exhale, pour your heart forward. Fingertips to the ground. Slide your right foot back. Slide your right knee down. We'll take the same setup on the left side here. Both hands on the inside of your left foot this time. Take a moment to check and just make sure that your left foot is as flat as you can get it and your hips are as square as they can be without working against the structure of your body. So you can stay here, or perhaps you're going to take your left hand to your heart and then sweep your arm forward and up, reach back for your foot. Just check in, see if it's there. It is. Exhale, bow forward. Right elbow may point backwards. Find the flow here. Make this feel kind of fluid, easeful if you're moving. Say hi to my kitty. Hi, Frankie. And then this time, if you want to grab a hold of your foot, just turn your hand so that your thumb points down and you grab the inside of your foot. Square your hips and shoulders. And make sure that you're not on top of your knee like this. You want your hips to still be moving down and forward. Stop here, or perhaps come to your forearm. Hey, Frank. They don't want to see that end, buddy. You're a lot cuter on the other side. Pay attention to your breath. If possible, ignore the cat in front of your face. And then gently release your back leg. Replace your left hand to the mat. Move your left knee back to meet your right. Anahata Asana, which is not Frank's favorite pose. He does not prefer puppy pose. Inhale, inflate the space behind your heart. Exhale, both forearms down to the mat. One pulse in forearm plank. Draw in from center. Exhale, heart and heels reach in opposite directions. Knees, hips, heart lifts. And exhale, pull your hands underneath you in line with your chest. Tuck your toes. Back from plank to downward dog. And then we'll walk feet to the top of the mat. And to come up with a straight back, take your thumbs into your hips, reach your hips back with bent knees, and then heart leads, rise up to standing. Okay, so we'll go ahead and all do this together without me doing a demo first. I think we can handle it. And there's going to be lots of options to stop along the way when you feel like, okay, this is my edge. This is where I'm going to stop and work today. So let's all take your weight into your left foot and draw your right heel in towards your glute. You could stop here and just work on balance and work on keeping your knees together and your lower ribs pulled in. And maybe if you want to add something, you could close down your eyes. So you could stop here. Or you could keep going and reach your right arm straight up. Press down to your foot, lift through the crown of your head. And then if you want to keep going, press your left shin straight back, but keep your heart lifted. So instead of leaning forward, which is something else, it's not wrong, it's just not what we're doing today. So keep your heart lifted. As much as you're pressing your left shin back, you're lifting your heart at the same time. And then you'll notice there might be a tendency to want to open your hip out so your knee starts to point out. So really try to turn your left hip down. And then press your shin back again. Keep a little buoyancy in your standing leg to help with you sway. And then we'll gently release. Take your hands to your hips. A little bit of movement here. Oh, did some squats the other night. Only feeling it in one of my hips, one of my legs, oddly enough. Okay, ready for the other side? Yes, we are. All right, so we'll do it again. Start with your right hand on your hip if you'd like. Bring your left heel towards your glute. And maybe you're working with balance here. We're closing down your eyes. Or send your right arm straight up, lift from heel to crown of your head. Keep your heart lifted, and then press your left shin straight back. And heart is lifting just as much as your shin is moving back. So don't compromise getting your knee up to bend forward, because what I really want you to feel is the upliftedness that this pose can bring. And then notice if you're opening up through your right hip. Keep pressing your shin back. Lift through your heart. And then gently down. Take a nice cool off with some movement back and forth. And then return to the top of your mat if you've navigated away. Reach your arms out and up. Really take your time with this inhale. Don't rush it. And then slowly taking your time with this exhale, dive forward, feeling every little flow of air that glides past your upper lip. Inhale up halfway, extend through your spine. Exhale, fold, and place your hands on the mat. Excuse me. And step back into downward dog. Inhale your right leg straight back, open up through your hips, reach your foot back and up as high as you can. Maybe you're bending your knee, bringing heel to glute. Keep your shoulders square in that case. Press equally through both hands. Feel a lot of stretch along your left leg. Then exhale with control. Bring your knee in through center, shift forward. Place your foot between your hands. You need to be on the other side. So secure the outside edge of your left foot into the mat, and then follow your left hand up and over for warrior two. Front knee bends and is tracking over the center of your foot. If it's tipping in, just turn your hips slightly forward. Then take your right hand and bend it behind your head. With your back arm, grab a hold. It doesn't really matter which one is on top. Find what's comfortable for you. So you've got your hands clasped here to the side rather than behind you. Now, what happens a lot, because we're going to go backwards, what happens a lot is as we want to go backwards so we straighten our front knee, but then we lose out on the intention of the stretch. So I want you to try as hard as you can to keep your knee where it is. And then lengthen your right side by lifting your right shoulder away from your right hip. Instead of thinking about moving backwards, think about creating length through your right side. And then keep your awareness on the whole structure by thinking about securing the outer edge of your left foot so that you're not tipping in through your knee, but that back leg is really stable. And then one more inhale. Exhale. Release your arms. That should feel nice. Ride the wave back to shore. Ground your hands to the mat. Ground your back knee. So a couple of options here too. So take your hands on the inside of your front foot. And this time we will tip out. So you'll tip out from your hip, not just from your ankle. So keep your ankle, the structure solid. And you can stay here, come down to your forearms. Or like last time, there will be an opportunity to add some flow movement to this. So if you're adding the flow, you'll reach your arm forward, up and back as you bring your left heel in, and this time your thumb points up. Grab a hold of the outside edge of your foot. Your right knee will tip away from you in your heart, so like your heart and your right knee are moving in the opposite directions. And today I want you to try something a little different. Instead of grabbing your foot, open your hand and press the outer edge of your back foot into your palm and vice versa. So you get a little extra tension there to maybe create some more expansion. Perhaps take your left ear to left shoulder. Hips move down and forward. Stay stable through your front ankle. And then gently replace your right hand back to the front. Lower your back foot slowly. Right knee back to meet left. Anahata Asana. Tuck your chin. Inhale, draw up. Exhale, both forearms secure on the mat, palms flat. Reach your feet back, hips same height as your shoulders. Inhale, draw in through center, press your forearms down and apart. Reach your heart forward. And then knees down, hips, tops of feet press down, knees lift, heart lifts. Exhale, release. Slide your hands underneath your shoulders in line with your rib cage. Tuck your toes, lift your knees, lift your navel through plank to downward dog. Awesome. Last time on the left side, left leg reaches back. Lift your left leg as high as you can. Bend your knee If it feels okay, let your hips open up. Press equally through both your shoulders so you're not collapsing through your right side. Press your right heel down into the mat. And then draw your knee through center, lift up through center. Place your foot right between your hands. Ground your back heel and follow your right hand up and over for warrior two. Again, noticing your structure, check your front knee and hips to make sure that everything is where it needs to be. And then take your left arm behind your head, right hand clasp. Beware of this action. Keep your knee where it is and just lengthen the space between your left armpit and your left hip. That's really all that needs to move. The lower body stays exactly as it is. Secure the outer edge of your right foot into the mat. Keep pressing down and apart with your feet. And as you start to feel like one sensation is speaking louder to you than others, just broaden your awareness and think about or notice a different part of your structure. And then release, arms out wide, expand, ride it into shore, and then hands down to the mat. Square your hips, ground your back knee, both hands on the inside. We'll have to do this on the other side because of the kitty. He can't be disturbed. So you'll tip out from your hips, left knee moves away. Perhaps you stay here, come down to your forearms, or reach forward, up and back. Grab a hold of your back foot, thumb points up this time. And then your heart moves away from your front knee. Open your palm so that you can press the outer edge of your right foot into your palm and vice versa. Right ear to right shoulder. Keep breathing. Notice where your mind goes without judgment. And then turn back towards the front of the mat. Carefully place your right foot down. Send your left knee to meet your right. Last Anahata Asana. Inhale. Posterior tilt of your pelvis. Exhale, both forearms down on the mat. Careful of any cats in the way. Come into plank, forearm pose. Inhale, drop in through center. Last time, make it count. Reach your sternum forward. Knees down, hips, heart lifts. Hands slide straight back underneath your shoulders. And we'll come up through plank. One last time to downward dog. And walk your feet to the front of the mat. Come up with a long spine. Inhale. And exhale out. So this last pose is called floating mermaid, as we're embracing the waves and the fluid nature of things. And it's meant to be playful. So if you look at this final pose and you're like, oh, hell nah, just work with where you're at today. It's all about the journey. It's not about the destination. So just experiment, have fun, and be okay with wherever you are today. So we'll start again just the same way we did before. Draw your right knee in, or bend your right knee, draw your left knee in. Keep your knees towards each other so you're not flailing out. And then you'll grab the inside of your foot, thumb points up. Square your hips. You can always stop here, work on balance, or move on to our Natarajasana variation. Left hip turns down for this part. So you stop here or begin to slide your back foot into the crook of your left elbow. And then, like we did in Warrior Two, you'll reach your right arm over your head, interlace your hands. Look at something that isn't moving, and then lift up through pressing your top of your foot into your arms. And then turn your gaze forward. You can slightly rotate your shoulders forward too, but don't worry too much about getting everything perfectly squared. We're just floating along like a pretty little mermaid. And then gently, carefully release. This is quite the back bend. So let's take a moment to slowly and be careful with our spines, counter some of that stretch. And we'll try it on the other side. Left heel in, grab a hold of the inside of your foot. Stopping here to work on balance. Close down your eyes if you would like. Or lift your top arm. Nada Rajasana variation. Right hip turns down towards the earth. Lift up through your heart, back through your shin. Stop here or bring your foot into the cranny of your right elbow. Bend your top arm, hook your hands. And then again, your right hip will want to turn down just slightly. Press in the top of your foot into your hand so you get a little more upliftedness. A little buoyancy through your standing leg. And then gently release. Slow, so we don't want to hurt ourselves coming out of that. Take some hip circles. Subtle articulations of your spine. Ooh. And then inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, dive forward. Bend your knees a lot, so we can have a seat and take our feet out in front of us. Finally, really grounding down. Roll to your back. Draw your knees or bend at your knees, feet flat on the earth. Start with your arms above you in soft parentheses. Take your feet as wide as the mat. Slowly drop your knees over to the right. And inhale through center over to the left. Whatever pace you're going, go half a breath slower. Imagine that your waves are moving with the crashing of the waves against the shore. Letting nature guide your pace, encouraging you to slow down. Bring your knees back into center. Draw your knees into your chest. Reach your arms at your side, palms up, or you could have your arms goal posted. And simply drop your knees over to the right for an easy twist. Sometimes it's nice to just reassuredly place right hand on top of your left leg, not in a way that you're pressing yourself down, just kind of reassuring. Notice if you have tension building up in your shoulders or in your forehead, jaw. Begin to soften and allow yourself to receive. Inhale your knees back through the middle. Right arm stretches out from your side. Take your knees over to the left. It's okay if your right shoulder pops up a little bit. Maybe your left hand is on your left thigh. Begin to sink into your mat. Let go of any tension you're still holding on to. Then let go again and again and again. Bring your knees back into the middle. Find Apanasana with your hands around your shins, or Happy Baby with your hands on the outside edges of your feet, gently rolling from side to side, stretching your lower back, softening through your hips. We did a lot of back bends today, even though they were standing. So this might feel a nice way to stretch across the backs of your hips and counter that through your lower back. And bring the soles of your feet together, interlace your fingers, press your knees away, lengthen through your arms, stretch the insides of your legs. Take one more inhale, and then exhale, release your legs out long for Shavasana, letting your ankles roll away, arms to your side, palms face up. Begin to focus on the space between your thoughts. I'll be here to tell you when it's time to come out. Without moving a muscle, bring just your awareness back into the space around you. Deepen your awareness by taking a full inhale and exhale, beginning to awaken your physical body. Invite small movements into your fingers and toes, gradually evolving them into your wrists and ankles. On your next inhale, reach your arms over your head, stretch from fingertips to toe tips. You're waking up again today. And bend at your knees. Roll to one side. Pause for just a moment, using your bicep as a pillow to appreciate the ability you have to flow with everything that's moving around you. And use your top arm, press down, come to a seated position at the front of the mat. Place your palms together in front of your heart. Root down into your seat, grow tall through the crown of your head. The dignified posture. As always, thank you all for being here for yourselves, for the community, for the people in your life who also benefit. May you and all living things be safe, be happy, be healthy, and live with ease. Namaste.